Well, hello. What's going on, everybody? So basically, what I'm doing right now is testing out Spreaker Studio. It was recommended, so I figured I'd give it a shot and try it out and see how things went with it. Um, so that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing at this particular point is just testing out this little app to see how well it works. And if I really like it and if the quality's good enough, then I'll just keep using it and I'll keep posting with it and everything. Um, Now, on finding some kind of a subject here to talk about for a minute, uh, I want to talk about something that basically is going to be probably a big part of this podcast, which is bringing to the attention problems that parents have, not just with children and how to solve certain issues or how to go about things. And I'm no expert. It's just things that I do in order to deal with my kid and issues that I have with my kids and things like that. So, and I know parents, there's no handbook out there for us. A lot of people think that it's just easy to raise a kid. You just feed them and change them and put clothes on them. And then, they get old enough, you send them off to school. And a lot of parents do parent like that. And I personally think that's a horrible way of parenting. But needless to say, there's not really like a guidebook out there for parents on how to deal with harder issues. Like, what to do when your kid and if your kid starts biting and things of that nature. And I know right now this seems really boring, but again, this is just kind of a test. And I just really wanted to see how this goes. So anyway, I really just wanted to kind of go over some things eventually a little more in depth down the road with my girl and everything and how we kind of deal with issues like that. But on top of just the parenting issue is how did you deal with being in a relationship? And I don't really ever hear things like that discussed, and I'm sure that they are. It hasn't been brought to my attention yet. Um, but yeah, how to keep your fucking mind on point when it comes to raising kids and what that does to the relationship. And I don't think enough people talk about that. And a lot of people don't realize how much of a strain on their relationship having a child can put. Um, and just how to go about dealing with that. Katie and I, we have some issues sometimes. Of course, we disagree about certain subjects on what we should do, as far as like how to go about disciplining and things of that nature, and just eventually, I really want to get her on here, and so you can hear her side of things, and we can kind of maybe help everybody out. Like, if you guys hear this and you guys have some advice on how you deal with certain situations and, like just bedtime even. Like, there's a lot of parents out there who know just how stressful bedtime can be, especially when it's like a toddler. Like, we have a toddler right now, and oh man, getting her to go to bed, it can be really, really simple some nights when she's just exhausted, but then there's just other days where it's rained all day, so she didn't get to run around outside and play. She didn't really wear herself down. She kind of ran around inside, and it goes from her going to bed between 7:30 and 8 till her not going to bed till 11 o'clock. I mean, it can get crazy sometimes, and just how to deal with that stress. And that's really what I want to talk to people about, and the opinions that I want to get from people as well. I want to know how you guys deal with these things, and just if you have any questions about specific subjects or anything like that. But even more along the lines of what this podcast is going to be, or what I hope it's going to be, is not going to be strictly about parenting. I want to get Katie on as much as possible. I want to talk about a variety of different topics. I really don't care. I just enjoy having conversation. So the subject matter isn't always the most important. Of course, I think that there's definitely going to be a couple shows and things like that where it is more predicated to one specific topic or talking point. And really, I just want to get on and probably try and do about I don't know, probably an hour or so and see how that goes. And we'll do that. And if that continues to do well and everything, then we'll try and do more of them. At this point, I'm really thinking about just doing, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 a week at most right now, just because of work and again, taking care of a kid. So I don't have a whole lot of time to just sit around and strictly devote to coming up with new subjects, doing, everything. And I don't want to burn it all out, too quick. That's why I want to mix things up. And again, I work, a lot. So, and Katie does too, and we've got that on our plate. So we're gonna try and definitely get in on this as much as possible. And I want everybody to enjoy it. I want everybody to have a good time with it. And again, I just want people to be able to talk to us and us to talk to them, especially in the beginning. If this picks up at all, um, I actually think I'll enjoy the beginning a little bit more than I will if this, for whatever reason, happens to blow up and get a decent amount of subscribers or anything like that. Um, Really, I think between 1,000 and 5,000 subscribers would be my absolute favorite place to be from a standpoint of I can still, go into the comments, read those comments, respond to you guys, and talk about the things that you guys are commenting on. And eventually, I'll set up a whole separate channel for the podcast. We'll do it live, and I'm sure there's going to be video for it as well. Because I want it to just be off the cuff kind of thing. Like I don't, I feel like if we wrote out like some kind of a script and everything, that you might enjoy the quality of it, but I don't think it would be real either. I think hearing those opinions firsthand, like right off the top of your head, I think are just a lot better anyway. And probably way more entertaining. And it's real. It's not this scripted kind of, all right, well, this is what I want to say. There may be about as much of a script as talking points, like for a specific subject matter, and just points that, maybe I want to make sure that I get to or that she wants to get to or something like that. But yeah, I think you're gonna hear a lot of crazy, crazy shit on here. This is very mild-mannered for what you're probably gonna hear. Um, Katie and I have a very interesting relationship and way of talking to each other that both of us get. And if you heard it from the outside, you would probably think that we hated each other. But we really do love each other a lot. And we just joke around and we have a good time with it. We try not to take ourselves 100% seriously all the time because we would just be completely stressed and losing our minds. So we have to joke, we have to have fun. And I think you have to do that regardless of any kind of relationship status that you have, any kind of parental status that you have, or anything like that. You got to be able to poke fun at yourself. You got to be able to have fun with it. And you got to be willing to also at the same time brush off the people that are just batshit crazy. Like if I think we've become such a type of people that we are so wrapped up and so concerned with what everybody else thinks that we just let that dictate our lives and how we do it. And as long as everybody else is happy, it's fine, even if we're miserable. And that's just crazy to me. Don't be miserable. Because if you're miserable and everybody else is happy, well, you're the only one who's really affected by that. If you're happy in your life, then you don't have to concern yourself so much with what everybody else thinks because you're happy, and you wouldn't be happy unless you did the things that made you happy. I'm sorry, I know that sounds completely ridiculous, but really, if you do things that make you happy, then you tend to care a lot less about what other people think of you, and I think that's a point that we all need to get back to. My generation grew up, we didn't want labels, we didn't want all these titles put to us and everything, and yet you still had to earn everything. You weren't just handed out trophies. You weren't just congratulated for having perfect attendance. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I got the perfect attendance award, when I was in elementary school as well a few times, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, you can show up to work and you can show up every single day on time and still be a horrible employee. So I think you just got to be willing to put in the work. And if you're willing to put in the work to be happy, then in the long run, you're going to be happy. And it's not always going to be joyful. I think that's the biggest problem that people run into is they hit that first wall and they go, "Oh, well, it didn't happen as fast as I thought it would, so this isn't going to work at all." And I think that's bullshit. And I think a big part of that is, we're all so wrapped up in things and we want fast, fast, faster, 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 everything faster, but yet no one's willing to just really slow down and take a look at everything that's going on. And I think if you did that, you'd probably realize that there's a lot more to life than just what's in front of the screen you're staring at all damn day. Um, and I mean, even I'm a bit of a hypocrite with that. I'll binge watch Netflix on my days off and stuff, and I'll hear about some show or whatever the case may be, or some video or some game or anything. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I do it too. Uh, and it can be a great release and just to block everything out and watch some nonsensical crap about nothing at all, just to go brain dead for 20 minutes. Sometimes you kind of need it, I think, too. Um, but I think people really need to just take a step back and realize that, hey, there's a lot more going on in life than just this little shit that I keep seeing over and over again on the TV or on my phone or on my laptop or desktop or whatever. Get out from in front of that damn screen, man. Get out from in front of the screen. It's ridiculous. People are so absorbed into technology in ways that I think are just kind of crazy. Don't get me wrong, I have an absolute love-hate relationship with technology. I love being able to connect with people around the world. I have friends now that live in other parts of other countries and things of that nature that I never would have been able to meet. I never would have been able to talk to or anything like that. So for that aspect, yes, I absolutely love technology. The hate part about technology is more so along the lines of how dependent people become on technology. And they're so far removed from reality that when things that happen on an everyday basis occur in their life, they lose their minds and they don't know how to react to it because, well, they've been staring at a damn screen for the past 15, 20 years and just are so unhinged from society that they can't even function. You know, I, at the same time, again, I said this was a love-hate relationship. So there's pros and cons to everything. I think they're just, in order for something to be long lasting, I think there needs to be more pros to it than cons. And I think in the past decade or so, maybe shorter, maybe longer, give or take. But I think in the past decade or so, it's become the opposite. The more hate, the more bullshit, the more, just negligence and everything of that nature. I think those are the things that tend to stick around longer, and I just can't quite understand why. I know people love drama. I mean, hell, even myself, I love a little bit of drama now and then. I just prefer it to not be my drama. Um, I I don't like dealing with other people's stress, but I don't mind hearing about it just to go, well, you know what? Maybe my shit's not so bad. And maybe that's what this podcast will be for you. You know, uh, maybe it'll be, well, this guy's going through some serious shit, and I thought I was, but no, his is a little worse than mine. So maybe today I don't stress out about it quite as much because he's got it a little worse than I do at the moment. I think that would be really awesome to be able to do. And again, this was just a test, me just kind of rambling just to see how everything was going to come out and play out. So if all comes out well, we'll keep this up and we'll probably start shooting some actual like live stream video and whatnot as well with this. Or we'll just keep it strictly audio because you can listen without staring at a screen. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little test, and I will catch you next time.